Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live interview with Jon, CEO of RVshare. Today, we'll be discussing all things RVshare. We love the new financial opportunity for RVers who may not use their rig full time. RVshare also offers the perfect way to ease into the RV lifestyle by renting out your rig or finding the right rig to rent. Stick around to learn more as we pick Jon's brain about this amazing platform. Hi, I'm Jim Hoffman, VP of Operations at Wholesale Warranties. We're excited to have Jon Gray, the CEO of RVshare, on our live interview today. For those of you that don't know, RVshare is an online platform that allows you to rent out your RV. Think of it as kind of like an Airbnb for motorhome. We're excited to dive into the details. Jon, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me and giving me an opportunity to tell you about the business. Appreciate it.
We're really excited. Let's kick things off. We'd love to know more about RVshare and how you guys became the leader in RV rentals.
So I think you said it at the beginning. Basically, we connect people who are looking to go on an RV trip with someone who has an RV and wants to turn it into a second source of income, very similarly to Airbnb. So it's kind of like an Airbnb, but for RVs. And, you know, in a marketplace business like ours, the way you become the biggest and the best is to provide a great selection and to provide a good experience to the users, both on the owner side and on the traveler side. I would say RVshare was started before, most of the other companies that do what we do. So the business was started in 2013, so we've been around a while and, driving bookings for quite a long time now.
Nice. Now, if I was an RV owner, how do you get the pricing for the RV?
So the RV owner sets their price, and we don't have any control over pricing the way you choose to price your RV, and we don't want it that way. We think it's your RV. You should determine what the price should be. Oftentimes when you're starting and you want just some guidance, what we encourage people to do is go look at the site and see RVs that are similar to theirs in areas that are similar to theirs, and use that as kind of a guide to helping them set price, or at least understand what the pricing for the market looks like, and then you can determine if you want to price above that, below that, or whatever. That's your choice as the owner.
Nice. And before I forget, if you're out there and you have a comment or a question, feel free to leave it down below, whether it's for Wholesale Warranties or more importantly, RVshare, because I'm sure a lot of the RV community has questions about this, because a lot of RVers obviously aren't living or using their RVs full time. And so the idea of getting income on it would be amazing. So if the owner sets the price for the RV, what about like number of nights? What if I only want to do it for a little bit or a long time? How does that work?
Again, that's up to you. You set when it's available, and then a traveler can come and attempt to book it, and then you can decide if you want to accept that booking. You're kind of okay with a booking from any traveler, so long as they hit your price point. You can turn on instant booking, and they can book it instantly. So that's really a matter of choice for the owner. The other thing I would say about the kind of feature set, so you can determine if you want to allow pets, what security deposit you want to take, all those types of things as the owner. We want to be your marketing partner as the owner and give you the flexibility to make sure you're renting out your rig on your terms.
That's great. So as an owner, I can kind of dictate pets, no pets, the duration of time, the cost. It sounds relatively, I don't want to say easy, but it sounds pretty simple.
Flexible. It's designed to be flexible. And, we think we can attract more owners that way by being flexible and by being a marketing partner. The thing I'd say about it too, though, is the more your calendar is open, the more you're willing to accept pets, maybe provide deliveries for an additional charge, things like that, the more likely you are to get booked.
Right. That's great. Well, let's fast forward. Let's say we've listed our rig and chose to rent it out. Can you kind of walk us through what the next steps might look like?
Sure. So if you make the decision to come on the site and list your RV, you just come to the site, you click list my RV, and you go through a process where you'll sign up. You enter pictures of the RV, a description of the RV, things like that. It's a pretty straightforward process, and then you've created a listing. You verify your ID, and then you go from there, and the listing will publish to the site. And then the next interaction you're likely to have is from a renter who's looking to rent your RV.
And then, so if I'm the RV owner and I got contacted by somebody who wants to rent it, and you mentioned it in the ad, I can possibly deliver it or, put the ease on the renter. But do I, as the owner, do I have to meet the renter? Is that communication relatively open?
So you do have to meet the renter, but in most cases on our site today, the renter comes to wherever you store your RV or your house to pick it up. You'll walk them through a quick checklist of how to operate it safely and effectively, which is good for everyone because you want them to take good care of your RV, and they're typically driving something that's bigger than what they're used to. So so that's good for everybody. You'll do a quick test drive with them, and then they're off with the RV. And the other thing I hear all the time from owners is, are they going to pick up my RV? And the answer is overwhelmingly yes. And most of our owners have an amazing experience with us, and stay with us for many years, and do lots of bookings through our site. In the rare chance where that doesn't happen, we have insurance we work with an insurance company to provide through our platform. And that's something that the traveler pays for, and that covers both the owner and the traveler. So, so if something does go wrong, you're still protected financially.
Okay, I want to dive into that, but first, real quick, if I'm an RV owner and I've rented my rig out, and is there communication during that rental process as an owner? Can I kind of like call to check in, making sure everything's going okay, or is that just dialogue with me and the renter?
You can. Typically, when I've rented them, and from most people that I've heard from, most of the communication starts with the renter. It's like, hey, I don't know how to use the refrigerator, or something like that. And the owner will respond real quick if you're kind of done with it. And, responding to renters quickly gets you good reviews on the site. Good reviews generally get you more bookings. Because, if somebody comes on the site and they're a bit nervous about renting an RV as a renter, and they see your RV and they see that a bunch of first-time renters have rented it and had a good time, then it's going to be really easy for them to consider yours, and probably they will.
Nice. So you brought up insurance, and you were mentioning that you work with a third party on your platform. Can you, both from the renter perspective, but also the owner perspective, can you kind of walk us through what that policy is, what it covers, things along those lines?
Sure. So basically, and you can read more about this on the site if you'd like, if you're interested in very specific details. But at a high level, the insurance policy covers you for liability up to $1 million. It covers comprehensive coverage that something similar to an automobile insurance would cover, and then it covers collision. And that's pretty basically how it works, but it's a policy that is designed specifically for you renting out your RV as the owner, and you renting an RV that you don't typically drive as a renter. So that's a really important part of it, is kind of matching the coverage to the activity that's happening.
No, that's a great point, because I think, and obviously you articulated, but it's covering both. It's covering the renter who's probably not used to driving that particular vehicle, whether it's the size or the length or what have you, but also more importantly, it's covering the owner separate from their own insurance policy and designed for that rental application.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And I think you mentioned earlier that cost, that's on the renting party.
Yes, the cost is paid by the renter. The coverage, is for both.
And then deductible and claim.
The deductible, yeah. So, if you have a claim, the owner can contact the insurance company, the renter can contact the insurance company. we just want to know that the loss has happened so that they can then begin working on it from an insurance perspective. The other thing, though, on the deductible, the deductible today is $1,500. We're working this year to actually bring that number down. So, or at least give people options to bring that number down. A lot of our owners who are concerned that, okay, this person's going to rent it, and then if they damage it, I'm going to be out the $1,500 deductible. We take a security deposit of $1,500 that then covers that deductible. And again, this is not usually what happens. Usually the stay goes without a hitch. Everybody has a wonderful time, and the satisfaction rate is really high. But something like this does happen, that security deposit gives you some protection in case you do have a loss.
Yeah, and that's what we've kind of noticed in our demographic is one of the biggest things is not necessarily the probability, but the peace of mind in knowing that if, right? So in I think we've spoken a little bit in the past where we're excited because we have now some RV warranties that will cover commercial use. And it's just just like a warranty, it's if it happens, not that it's expected, not that, anything along those lines, but a lot of our clients really enjoy just a peace of mind that knowing that someone's in their corner or, something's there to help them out if something does occur.
Yes. Insurance companies are in business because these things
So we know that a really good option or a really kind of strong desire for a lot of RVers out there is how to make money on their rig when they're not using it. And could you kind of walk us through maybe some of the kind of the payments and how that all kind of corresponds not only on the RV owner side, but for those listening out there that may be interested in renting on that side of it?
Let me start by giving you just a little bit of context on, you talk about a lot of people want to turn their RV into a second source of income. And that is certainly true. On average, an RV is used 2 weeks a year. And on, 93% of RVs that aren't one that is lived in, so an RV that's not a full-time residence, 93% of them are used for less than 5 weeks a year. So it is an amazing opportunity to take an asset that you either have paid for or are paying for and turn it into a second source of income. They can help you cover the payments on it. They can just put holiday cash in your pocket, whatever. It is a great way to take an asset and monetize it. And so just want to kind of paint that first. The other, so in terms of using the site and how payments work, so a renter will come in. You can select as an owner if you want them to pay half up front or all of it up front. But say you choose to have them pay half up front, they'll pay half up front, and then as we get closer to the booking, they'll pay the other half. And then when the stay starts, so like first day of the stay, you will get paid as the owner. And that's pretty simply how it works. From the renter perspective, if you're considering buying an RV, this is a great way to try before you buy. It's also a great way to experience a lifestyle that a lot of people don't get to experience, and is a really cool lifestyle. So I think those are the things that are benefits for renters. The cost of it is around this thing is what you pay for a hotel, but it moves. And you don't have to get on a plane to go to the place because you're, kind of the journey is the destination, if you will.
Nice, yeah, and that's a great point. And I was on the website a little bit this week and just noticed how many different options there are. A, B, C trailer, and how even just locally here in Southern California, how many different options you can do. How many different listings do you guys have? I mean, if I, wanted to look for a specific, you brought up a great point, which is kind of test before you buy type scenario.
Yeah, there's well over 100,000 listings on the platform. You can search for the model and you can typically find it. I mean, not every model ever made or anything like that. Certainly not a much older model. Most of our inventory is quite new. So, you can pretty much find a model to test drive. that way. And I think, especially in an RV, I've always been frustrated when I test drive a car that I don't have enough time to really get a feel for the car.
Right.
Much more true with an RV because, I want to, how does the bed sleep at night? Like if you haven't slept in it, how do you know how the bed's going to be? It gives you a good example of that. If you haven't got people in the kitchen, you're only kind of guessing at how effective the kitchen is. And it's a huge purchase to make without having a kind of thorough test of it. So that's why I think it's a really good option for people who are considering purchasing an RV.
No, and I know selfishly that would cut down on something that I sometimes struggle with, which is kind of like buyer's remorse, which is how does the bed work? How does the kitchen? How are all these little things? Was I ready for it? And this gives you a really good understanding of what I would consider a fair or a good trial run to see how it works and see what length and all those little variables that go into, the acquisition thereof of an RV. I'm sold. I mean, I think that, whether you're looking for a second income on an RV, whether you're looking to test drive an RV, whether you just want to get out in nature and to your point, at the same cost, if not lower than a hotel, what about just renting a space and like you said, with delivery and pickup options, I mean, really there's so many positives. Tell us more on where our community can kind of find you and where you guys are socially.
Yeah, so the best way to find us is to go to RVshare.com. You can put your trip options in there and pretty quickly get an idea for the sorts of results you can find right in your area, or if you're going to fly somewhere to, I know a lot of people fly to Utah, they'll rent one in Salt Lake City and go to the parks that are near it. Same is true to Southern California. And, it's a great use case for that too. So you can put in where you're going and your dates and have a look at the sort of options that are available to you. That's really the best way to experience what we do at RVshare. You can find us socially on Facebook and all those types of things, but to really see the product and the experience, it's best seen on the web.
I mean, if you've sold me that even living in Southern California, whether it be Yosemite, Sedona, Arizona, all the different parks in Utah, how much easier would it be to rent an RV when you're there versus bringing one that distance to get there? And that's eye-opening for me. And for those viewers, if that hit a chord with you, I mean, I strongly encourage you to leave a comment, leave a question. Again, RVshare. Jon, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I feel like I got a really good understanding and a really good option for a lot of RVers, both owners and potential renters out there. Really appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Look forward to speaking with you soon, Jon.
Bye.
Take care.